Apparently my recording didn't work, but should now be working, I hope. We'll see. I'll check on this in a minute. It's a good thing they've only really missed the
intro.
Yeah, the intro. And us talking about fucking my wound, but you know, maybe it's a good thing it's not on recording. Anyhow. So you all sorry, the question was what time did you arrive? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You guys arrived at roughly midday after your a few day long travel to the town.
Okay.
Riley driving noises. Peak.
Beep beep.
I haven't had an answer of what y'all are doing yet. One of you's got to have a functional brain cell. I don't care who it is, but.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We should probably just go meet the Allgrave immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could vibe check. We could vibe check the city on our way there.
Sure.
I would
But
say that my character need to check something real quick. How long does this last? No, it's fine. Never mind. I'll just bring people out with my wings.
Okay. So, you all enter the town, bound for the Altgrave's manor in the center. One thing you do notice upon passing by the passing along towards the town, there's a very large graveyard on the outskirts of town. Sorry, on like about a mile or two out from the town proper. Right. Once you enter the walled settlement itself, you don't really see much in regards to notable signs or characters. There's a general downtrodden nature, but you know, overall, I'd say it's passable. As you're passing into the town,
downtrodden.
no, not like. I mean, obviously, there's like a certain like air of fear about the whole, you know, dying children and their mothers thing, you know.
Happens.
But you know, there's other things that are going on. And one thing, you want to summon Augusto, your horse. Or no, your mastiff. Okay.
Dog.
You summon Augusto. Assuming that's something you can idly do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought your Shadow Mastiff you had to kill someone to summon.
Is that so? I don't know about that. Let me see.
Hound of Ill Omen.
No.
Never mind.
So, no.
I'm thinking of a different ability from the Shadow Sorcerer. Yeah, you all see this summoned, really creepy-looking dog appear. And the townsfolk are, understandably, kind of disturbed by this. But,
Oh, it was a good doggy. Serenity starts paying the dog.
You trying to scare the people more, man?
Not one for blending in, I see.
No, not really.
I can relate in a way.
As you guys are passing through the town and scaring all the townsfolk with the strange shadow dog, There is notably a church that you pass by. It appears to be dedicated to the goddess Sukigami. However, you pass by that and eventually pass to the manor of the Old Grave himself. You see some guards standing outside that stop you on your approach. Halt. Why do you approach the Old Grave's manor?
We have an audience with him.
We are here on official business. We are contracted by the Echo Guild.
Yeah, so he sort of looks at the other one, and then he sort of like sends the other one in. The other one comes back, whispers in his ear, "Alright, follow me." And the guy leads you inside, and you all pass through the halls of this grand manor and into the office of this Altgrave, who appears to be sitting at his desk. Next to him, there's this man adorned from head to toe in this plate armor. And besides that, the room is fine, but not, opulent by any means. It's not like the fine halls of super wealthy nobility. He's a well-off noble, but he's not, some of the wealth of the capital nobles.
Can we get a physical description of this Altgrave?
The Altgrave appears to be a man in his, 50s, on the older side. He's got brown eyes, graying brown hair, very unassuming. His clothing appears to be of a finer, noble status. His hair's not long, and he has a mustache, a nice little handlebar mustache. The man next to him's a bit younger, likely in his early 40s. This fine blonde hair and these very nice emerald green eyes. And adorned with the heraldry of the... no, he does not have knife ears. And adorned with
Knife ears is crazy.
And adorned with the heraldry of the house. Please don't make me explain it. It's not important. And you all are now standing there. He looks upon you and sort of beckons you for you all to introduce yourselves. Such is the custom. Some of you are nobles, so you should know this. Some of you might not know this because you're not nobles. But at least some of you should know this.
Abel would bow and just introduce himself. Just like, my name is Abel Evangarde.
Quirin will also bow. I'm Quirin Feltz.
Johann's gonna give like a grandiose bow.
Doing a hand flick thing in front of him as he does the... You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's making it real flashy. The name is Johann Schmidt. It's nice to meet you.
He did it.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, Serenity is petting Augusto.
Hell yeah.
It's just gonna become even shorter with his bow.
It should just shrinks.
Just falls over.
So, some things of note. Morgan has yet to introduce himself, but the guy seems to regard you all without that. Probably a little bit racist.
Yay.
At least a little bit. He does look confused at Serenity, but doesn't really do anything about it. and he begins to address you all. I am Altgrave William IV of House Marioch. Next to me is the captain of the watch, Samuel Astaroth, one of my knights. Recently, we've had a series of murders that we've been unable to solve thus far. As such, we've contracted outside help. We had heard that the Echo Guild had a very notable warrior that also had some sort of sixth sense about these matters. We'd hoped that she'd come herself, but since you have come in her stead, I hope that you can live up to the expectations I have. There have been a series of murders that have been reported as, well, how to explain it? Blood removed from the body. All of it, in most cases, alongside a removal of the heart from the chest cavity. That is what the mortician says, at least. It's likely used in some form of necromantic ritual of some kind. The blood that is drawn is taken from mothers, typically, and their children. The heart's typically only taken from the children. While you are staying within the town and investigating this matter and trying to get to the bottom of it, I promise you lodging for free within the bounds of the town, and, well, other support. The guard should be compliant with your request to get into crime scenes and such. For those of you that have not been to Desravia, which I imagine is most of you, there's a prominent church of Tsukigami here. I myself work well with them. And there is a slum of the detested race of elf. I have a task for you immediately, actually. A crime scene that I think you will be able to give some insight into. It just happened last night. A new ritual site the guard abducted. A young woman and not just one but several children are found dead. Her 3 children. Her husband is dead, deceased. Already was before the incident. She was a widow. It's on the western side of town. Unless you have further questions you'd like to ask me, I believe it's best you get to work now.
All right then.
Any questions?
Where have most of the murders taken place?
Smart question. Out of character, but you didn't put on your character voice, which is very sad.
Oh, well.
There haven't.
You have to re-say it in your character now.
Yeah.
Where have most of the murders happened?
There we go.
They haven't really had a concentrated location. They've happened all across the town, and it doesn't seem to track amongst family wealth either. Some of the merchants have had deaths in their families.
So, have you found any potential leads at all?
We wouldn't have been calling for outside help if we had, would we?
Nothing at all.
All of the houses have been not broken into. No forced entry, but there's no common link amongst them. Not that I can think of. And nor has the guard found anything. The mortician has noted the similarity of the cause of death, but that's it.
Very well.
May I ask what the
Speak
ratio?
up, Riley. Thank you.
Sorry, is this better?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. May I ask about how often they murder some of the more higher strata?
In comparison to lower strata,
Yes.
relatively equally. I mean, comparative to the population of the town. We've had 3 deaths, well, 3 pairs of deaths amongst the higher strata. Well, we've had around 6 of the mid and lower strata.
Chris, I forgot what was the how do you address this noble given he's in Altgrave? I forgot.
That's so sad. That's so sad, Riley.
Just call him a
My
bitch.
lord.
right to his
Don't you have a
face.
document on this, Ivy?
Yes.
You should call him a
My
bitch.
God.
Your
I-
Excellency.
Damn it, I was getting there.
Your Excellency, this is very strange if these murders are done for necromantic purposes.
I haven't the slightest clue why these are done. We may be a town of, well, very connected to Tsukigami. That does not mean we are without flaw. We do not have a
course.
very high concentration of mages here, besides the few clerics within the church itself. And they have noted necromancy as a possible cause, but, well, we have not seen any, well, undead.
It's strange. Necromancers tend to try and hide their presence as much as possible. Attention is generally
Yes, I do
the
not
worst
understand
thing.
it either. These have been not necessarily public matters, but have taken up the radar.
Your Excellency, I would at least want to assay your fears. I am a former member of the Protectors of the Cycle. If it is a necromancer, I am an expert in this matter.
As am I.
That is good to hear, Protector.
As am I.
A former member.
As far as I'm concerned, once a Protector, always. You still hold the ideals, do you not?
Yes.
That is what matters. Any other questions about the incident thus far that I might be able to assuage the answers about?
The location of the other crime scenes.
I will provide you, the captain will provide you with a map of these matters. And the captain of the guard provides a map of the town with X's marked over houses where crime scenes have occurred. There are notably none in the Umbral district that are marked.
Seems whoever this is does not like to go after umbrals.
Our suspicion right now is that it is an Umbral. They are rather skilled at the necromantic arts by nature. There have been rumors that amongst their kin in the slums there is one who was a practitioner of necromancy, but they refused to give him up. And hearsay is not enough for us to go arrest one of them just yet.
Still, the list of suspects has dramatically decreased because of that information.
Well, it makes sense for an umbral to be the suspect.
We shouldn't get too locked in on who our suspect is.
Can't humans practice necromancy just as well?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
And if I was a human necromancer and I wanted to avoid attention, never murdering any of the umbrals is a good way to get off. To guide attention elsewhere.
It is pretty smart.
It is a common tactic necromancers do use.
If there's nothing else, I'd suggest you get along to the first sight, or the most recent one.
Yes, Your Excellency. And Quirin will do a very, very short, brief bow, and then leave.
Hey,
Alright.
so when we passed the graveyard, that was like a mile outside of town, right?
Yeah.
Were there guards around there
Nope.
at all? No.
There was attendants from the temple working it. Specifically one who was working it.
If your clerics believe it to be necromancy, why not have guards at that graveyard outside of town? Just in case.
Hence, the situation between us and the church. They do not want us stepping on holy ground and defiling it. They handle that in-house, shall we say, and have noted that there have been no disturbances of the graves.
May I ask how long the... Oh wait, no. Quirin left, never mind.
That is all. Thank you. And then Johann's gonna give another grandiose bow when we
And
leave.
I assume everybody else is going to follow suit.
Yep.
Yeah, Morgan does a simple bow and leaves.
Serenity kind of does this weird side to side motion, kind of mimicking a bow, but in a weird way. Just kind of saunters out.
Yeah.
She tried.
Alright. So, the six of you exit the manor and start making way for the most recent crime site. You've been provided with a map of the town and begin making way for this house. Would you all like to discuss en route anything, or just go to the site? I'll take that as no. So let's just say I'll take that as go to the site.
Yeah. Let's go to the site. We'll talk about it later.
Stop. You will all arrive at the crime scene. There's some guards there, and they just sort of, since you're just approaching so casually and with intent, they just sort of let you in. The door is notably not been broken into, and you see the site of the murder. There's not a lot of blood, but there are scratches and engravings in the ground. Drawn with intention.
Are these engravings more a sign of a conflict, or are they more signs of some type of
intentional engraving in the ground?
Okay, could be a calling card.
It appears to be almost a ritual circle in appearance, but not fully formed, anyways, right? Like it's missing the runic and stuff like that. That would make a proper ritual circle. There are several bodies with some people looking over them, including a man who appears to be the mortician, in quotation marks. Looking over the body of the mother at the moment.
Anything peculiar that you see?
So the man turns back. He's a human. Relatively unassuming in appearance. Adorned in the robes of the church, wearing the symbology of Tsukigami, the eclipse. And sort of looks around. Yes, it's standard with the rest of the pattern. Removed hearts, 2 marks on the neck.
Are the bodies still there, Chris, or are they gone?
Yes, they're still here.
Quirin's gonna check the spacing between the markings.
Speak up, Riley. Thank you.
Quirin is going to check the spacing on the marks on the neck.
All right, roll investigation. That's divine
around.
resistance, not, I'm guessing, what you were trying to roll.
I want to look around the rest of the house to like just check and see if
Yeah, sure.
nothing else is taken.
Oh,
Even though that
okay. So you're looking over this body and analyzing it. Roll investigation, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say anything.
Can I do the same plus my hound too?
Sure.
Okay. Do I have to roll it twice, or does it not matter?
I mean, you can use the help action with your hound to do investigation to get advantage.
Okay.
Use the big sniffer.
So, okay,
take
that was
it.
almost very bad. So, Quirin, you're looking at these incisions on the neck, and there is a distinct separation. They are consistent among each of the bodies, and it would be roughly the distance between an individual's canine teeth. However, since you rolled very high, there's something else you know. One of the incisions is deeper, as if gone over after the initial bite, shall we say? Since you're assuming these are canines at this point, right?
Yes.
Almost as if they
What do you
went
mean?
in with like a syringe.
So I do have a question. Is this only one of the Is this only one of the holes in the neck?
Yes,
Or
only one of the
both?
two has this. It's slightly deeper and like a bite.
Our perpetrator is definitely masquerading as a vampire.
Vampire.
Mortician.
Hmm? My name is
Ha-
Nihal, for reference, but yes, how can I help you?
Pharrell? Yes?
No,
Sorry,
Norel?
No, I
Nah.
said Pharrell.
no, it's Nihal Bellarose.
The hell, sorry, my old age. Disregard that. Anyway. Have you looked at the markings on the neck in any great detail?
Well, that's distinctly the cause of death for some of them. Some have actually died of their necks being broken as the direct cause, but all of them have had this distinct 2 marks on their neck.
How old are the other excluding this side, how old are the other murders?
The oldest ones track back about a little bit over 2 months at this point.
Ah, rigor mortis set in then.
Yes. Do you mean these, like, sorry, let me ask that question. Are you referring to, like, the previous murders, or are you referring to the ones
The
in this
previous murders.
Yes, several months at this point. All have been buried at this point. Long.
For future reference, in case there are future murders, make sure to check the depth of the vampire bites, if you could call them that.
Yes.
This one here is a tiny bit deeper than the others. It seems more like the perpetrator is trying to make us believe that they are a vampire.
Well, certainly not thinking. Abel. So you notice, as you're looking around the room, you don't sort of notice it at first, but there is a piece of cloth in the room that does not match any of the clothes, likely torn off in a struggle. It's noted that there are signs of a struggle within the room itself that you notice, and the bodies are spread about throughout the entire house. 2 are concentrated in one room. The mother, in quotation marks, died in the main room, and another was hiding under a bed that their mother probably slept under or on. There's 3 bodies outside of the mother, so 4 in total. And you notice that there are clear signs of a struggle. The one under the bed has a piece of cloth in their hand.
Whose investigation check was this?
Yours.
Yours.
I my Discord crashed. I did not hear any of that.
Oh, you find a piece of cloth in the hand of a child that was underneath a bed. The mother died in the main room, but some of the children were in the other rooms. There's also signs of a struggle, but not a forced entry.
The cloth is also notably not
torn,
related to any of the other victims.
Speak up, Riley. Thank you. Barely hear you.
The cloth is not related to any of the victims, i.e., this cloth is different from
their clothes.
Any other cloth.
Can I ask my hound to sniff it, see if it it can smell any sort of scent of maybe a chemical of some sort or something?
Can you speak with your hound?
Telepathically.
It cannot smell anything from it. The scent has gone away. It has become one with the scent of the dead child's hand. The cloth is black. Besides that, there's not really anything of note of it. It could merely just be a random piece of cloth. It could not be at all related to anything else.
Just signs of struggle. Okay.
Johann, you notice the signs of a struggle, but you cannot garner the deeper meaning of it.
Yippee.
Can I see, upon the mentioning of Quirin's of the syringe, can I make a medicine check? See if any of the bodies were poisoned?
Sure. None of the bodies seem to have been poisoned as a cause of death.
Or just in general?
None of the blood, as far as, there is no blood of note in any of the bodies.
So they were completely drained?
Oh yeah, there is no blood in their bodies. At least, like, there's some, like, residual blood, but, like, basically nothing.
What else is in this room again? Was there something written on the wall?
On the ground in the main room, there is an engraving. It appears to be a ritual circle, though it is incomplete as it does not have the runic, nor is it meeting a lot of the finer details.
May I investigate the circle?
Yeah,
Can I
roll
go ahead and
Arcana.
do that as well?
For our
do that.
3 people who want to research the necromantic circle, roll Arcana.
Can I roll religion?
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would I be able to roll history using Grim Psychometry?
Grim Psychometry. Can you post Grim Psychometry in the chat? Alright, let me read it.
You already did.
Yep. To recall information about the cynical or tragic history
Legendary ability.
touching or your current location, you have advantage on the check. Experience brief visions of the past connected to the object or location. Information about the sinister or tragic history of an object you are touching or your current location.
I would say that's pretty sinister and tragic.
Yeah, you can roll some Grim Psychometry history.
Right.
Advantage.
17.
Does Morgan wanna
I will roll religion as well.
religion instead of Arcana? Interesting. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wanted to use one of my abilities to re-roll.
You have the ability to do that?
Yes. I can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll a d20. I can conjure a success from failure.
Alright. Roll ahead. Go ahead. Reroll.
Okay. We re-roll Arcana. And I have to take it, so it's fine.
You can't discern much about this circle as a piece of Arcana because it's very incomplete, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Serenity, religiously speaking, this has very little meaning to you and the Fey courts, but circles of this kind are not uncommon. Fey circles are a common symbol within the Feywild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Circles of druids, Fey circles, rock circles, stuff like that's not uncommon within Fey worship. This circle itself, again, has no specific meaning, though perhaps it might resemble the work of some of the unseelie courts, as they are known to dabble in the art of necromancy from time to time.
Ads.
This is a good clue, guys. It's definitely one of the unseelie Fae.
I'm looking at somebody else. Morgan.
I cannot hear you, Riley. Thank you.
So, religiously speaking...
It's definitely hag.
It's definitely
That's
hag.
what I was saying, man.
Hags are not unseelie Fae.
Well, they are a part of one of the courts, usually.
Oh, they're part of the court, but they're not unseelie Fae.
So...
Well, they're technically Fae.
Yeah. So Morgan,
Don't tell
religiously speaking, Nyx worship sort of speaks to this as being an aspect, an art of necromancy. Necromancy is inherently connected to Nyx worship in many ways because, Nyx worship and it's basically that they're literally one and the same in many ways. They're not one and the same, but it's not uncommon for Nyx worship to be associated with necromancy. That's the reason that Tsukigami worshippers and Nyx worshippers oftentimes butt heads. But this distinctly has a notable difference between a Nyx worshipper's circle. This looks more like a Dark One. It has some more Dark One inspiration than outright Nyx worship. Necromantic circles. And Quirin. So it is said in history, right, that necromantic circles of this kind are drawn, although this one is very much clearly not to scale, with the goal of ritualizing death and the process of making necromancy on a grander scale. However, you also notably notice that this is not a typical necromantic circle. It's not being drawn with the typical things that you see or you have seen in the past of these circles. It's purpose-built with necromancy in mind, but not, it's not direct necromancy. It is not drawn specifically to commit necromancy. It has some other purpose, but there's no runic here to discern what it might be.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been delayed what's it called?
Like spells?
Spells.
Yeah, like could the runic could a spell reasonably be placed so that it would draw the runic and activate the
It would
circle?
need runic inherently attached to do that. You can make self-writing spells, but like on a timer or something like that. But it typically requires runic to start the spell. It'd be a very complex spell to do that.
Do you require it all to be if you engrave the circle, does the runic require it to be engraved, or could it be done through, say,
Chalk.
a different type of spell, or chalk, or any other type of medium to
engraving? So to explain, this is a magecraft concept that applies across the setting, right?
Okay.
It does not all necessarily need to be done in one medium, but the level of permanence of a medium changes depending on what method you use to do it, right?
Permanence. Sorry, could you elaborate on the permanence part?
So, say you write something in chalk, right? Sure, a runic spell written in chalk could last a while, especially if you have very expensive chalks, but you could also engrave it into the ground. And some spells require other mediums to activate them. So it depends on the spell to a heavy degree, whether or not it can be activated merely with one medium, or if it needs multiple, or if it specifically needs one medium, like maybe you need to write the circle in blood, which is not an uncommon thing amongst necromantic rituals, right? And sometimes it gets more specific about the kind of blood you need. But, like, teleportation circle, you need these expensive chalks, right?
Right.
But some other ones you could merely engrave it into the ground and infuse it with mana. A lot of lower level spells require that. You could do that. But it depends, is my answer to the question.
Got it.
Based off the complexity of this, it would need to all be done in one medium. But most necromantic spells need blood as a medium. You can't merely engrave them into the ground if you're going to ritually cast them, at least.
If you weren't to ritually cast it,
you wouldn't need the circle at all. But you can't get the same scale as you can with a ritual.
got it. Nahel.
Mm-hmm.
What has happened with the other circles in the other crime sites?
They've remained undisturbed as far as I know. All are of the same level of completeness. That is to say, incomplete. They're not all perfectly one-for-one creations of each other, but they are engraved somewhere in the scene, typically in the floorboards, like it is here, and they're all of relatively similar scale, even if they're not direct copies of one another.
May I ask about the deviations? You said they're not all exactly like each other. I'm assuming that's more than just scale.
Well, they slightly different sizes, some are imperfect circles, not made perfectly round, issues like that. Some have like gaps in the engraving. It's variable issues.
Although I think it's unlikely these things are actually designed to be used, I will play it safe. Does anyone want to get a good last look before we destroy it?
No.
Alright. Quirin's gonna take his short sword and he's just gonna start fucking up this circle.
Okay. Yeah, you just start fucking up this circle. Just mad fucking it up.
Serenity just watches Quirin do this, and she's like, "Yeah, you tell that circle, you know."
Sure, that circle is boss.
Quirin is then gonna head over to the guards on the outside.
Yep.
We were hired by the Altgrave to handle this matter, but I need something to be done. There are other engraved circles across different crime sites. Could you get someone to destroy them all?
I said.
Make sure it's thorough.
He just sort of nods and walks away. Gotta get these damn bodies out of here.
So, Chris, I do actually have another question about the bodies.
Yep.
Speak up, Riley.
What is your next question?
Oh, sorry. I realized why I was so quiet. I had my microphone the other way. It's a cardioid, so like the.
Oh my god, Riley.
Isn't it not a
Anyway.
thing?
Every single session, multiple sides of session, for over
Yep.
a year now.
Yep. So. Hey Chris, how well are the wounds of the hearts? Like how well are they removed or cut in?
I mean, they're not professional cuts by like they're not professional incisions, shall we say, like with like a scalpel.
Well, yeah, but are we talking like? Was this like a rough job? Was this seems to be more of a
more clean? They clearly pulled out the hearts. They weren't rough with it necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
It's not like it's surgical, but you know, it's clearly done with intention to maintain material at the very least.
Is there another exit out of this house?
No. Only the one door.
Only one door. No windows?
There's some windows. But none of them were open.
Would be pointless. Never mind.
Does this house have a chimney?
It does.
Check the chimney.
I will check the chimney actually.
I'll help him with that.
Alright, roll investigation.
Do I get advantage due to them helping me out, right?
Yep.
Assisting. Alright.
So, the chimney appears to be undisturbed. The only disturbance, in quotation marks, is the coals at the bottom of the fire sort of still slightly burning away, like very slightly. Very small embers. You look up, you don't see anything up it, or any disturbances of the flame or the ashes, though perhaps evidence might have burned away, literally, when this event occurred.
Hell, I have another question. Sorry to continue pressing on these grim matters, but do you know if there's a common, shall we say, time where these murders occurred based on the state of the bodies
Well,
when you found them?
it's hard to say, mostly because, well, the bodies have all been removed of blood, so they all draw colder quicker.
And so the process of rigor mortis settles in quicker as well.
Yes, so I don't have an exact answer for you, but typically in the evenings, middle of the night, presumed. Some of the scenes have been caught more close to the original time in the evenings. This was one of them. We got word of it last night. Sounds of the struggle were heard, but guards were unable to respond quickly enough. One neighbor reported, as far as I've heard from the guard, that a figure rushed away out of the building, adorned in black robes, cloak. They use the word cloak. Yes.
And which way did the neighbors say they went? Or they saw them go?
To the left down the street, the direction of the Umbral district. He postulated it was that damn new one.
New one. New
Quirin's
one?
There was no speaking there, so I don't know what you guys want me to do.
Oh, okay. You go first.
I just said new one, like I repeated that.
Okay.
Like
It had a questioning tone.
questioning way, yeah.
He just sort of shrugs. I'm not an investigator. I do not know.
Which neighbor saw this?
One to the left.
Alright, I want to go talk to them, but I'll let Riley do his thing.
I'm gonna Chris. Can I check the map of the crime scenes? And I want to see if there's a connection with the location or not, or if it seems to be more random.
None of the location. What do you mean by that? Like if they're like in a specific pattern?
If they're in a specific pattern of like location wise.
No, not really.
Okay.
So, You all go and, sorry, Johann, you go next door. You see this old man sitting on the porch.
Good evening, sir. Or, no, is it the daytime or is it nighttime?
No,
It's daytime, isn't
daytime.
it?
It's
Daytime.
starting to drizzle a little bit outside.
Ooh.
So, like, afternoon, maybe?
Yeah, afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. You are the, one who reported?
Oh, yeah.
So, what exactly did you hear in this struggle?
I heard children screaming. Sounds of slamming. And then when I aroused, I saw a man in a black cloak rushing down the street that way. And he points the direction that was he mentioned towards the Umbral District. Oh, yeah.
There were, you said it was, or you didn't say, I heard that you said it was somebody new?
Oh, yep.
So, do you know who it is, maybe? A
Oh,
name?
yep.
I know. Do I have to ask?
I think it's pronounced Agnak Kabadus. I'm not very good with them knife-ear names.
Do I even get like a trend? Like, do I even like I kind of heard the last name, but this man's accent and how slow he talks, it's just
Yeah.
That's kind of the
it
point.
is.
That's kind of the point.
Agnag.
Could you
Oh,
retry
no.
that first name one more time?
Agnak.
Slower.
Agnak.
Agnak?
Agnak.
Agnak.
He's one of them knife-eared folks. I heard he's a damn necromancer.
I see.
Yeah, it sure seems that way.
It does appear to
I
be
swear,
that way.
if like Morgan came by, he'd be like, "That's him there."
There.
He was a tall fella. Looked like one of them warrior types.
Hmm. Oh.
It's Valerie.
I think
Valerie's
he
a man now?
was around 6'4". I didn't really get a good look at his skin, but he looked a rather pale soul.
Knife. You'd.
He had a hood on. I couldn't tell.
So it might not even be an umbral or an elf at all.
Nah, I know it's one.
Whatever you say, sir. Alright, well, I'm done here. And I'm just gonna walk
Alright.
off.
You see him spit under the ground. It's a little dark color. Chewing on something.
Ah, such lovely people. Yes.
Spits a sunflower seed out.
Embarrassing.
Alright, are we done here?
I don't know. That's a question for y'all to answer, not me.
That I am asking everybody.
I suppose so.
Riley's dying, and I don't know why.
Wonderful.
Serenity, like this whole time, has just kind of like been watching over Quirin's shoulder. Like, and if he ever gets like frustrated, like she backs away for a little bit, and then like 30 seconds later comes back.
Quirin will keep a level head, but he's kind of just not going to acknowledge that you're right behind his back, over his shoulder.
You know, like when the teacher's like watching what you're doing when you're like writing.
Yes.
It's like that. Just like kind of curious, like, oh, what are you up to? Huh?
She's
When the
watching.
te-
So
when the
Serenity
teacher-
is watching me look at this map.
Well, she's been doing it the whole time through the whole investigation, but right now the map, yeah.
Okay. Now, I have some questions about the Church of Tsukigami here.
Yes.
May I ask who leads the church here?
That's actually a really good person to rewrite, Chris. No offense.
I forgot.
I'm just, yeah.
I have a lot of details, and that is not one of them.
Well, there we go.
Don't worry. I
Alright.
got this.
Alright, now. His name is Thomas
Jefferson.
Everson.
Thomas Washington.
Amen. Everson. Okay.
Everson.
Thomas Everson. That's his name now. That is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Thomas Everson, High Priest Thomas Everson.
I have a question, Chris. How big of a city is this? How big of it, how big are we talking?
Enough to have an alt grave.
Yeah. I mean, it's about a 5,000, 6,000 people city.
Okay.
It's
Is
not
it
like the
possible
capital, but, you know, it's a city.
Is it possible that I've heard of this person before?
Probably not. I mean,
Okay.
you don't know
Just
every parish.
Just making sure. I don't know. I forget how high
It's
how
City of Ted.
Thomas Everson.
I'm just making sure because I also don't know. You said high priest, and I was like, okay, that sounds pretty important.
I mean, it's one step above a priest, but they're not a bishop.
okay. I thought high priest was above bishop. Never mind.
No, it goes priest, high priest,
Bishop.
bishop, archbishop, ecclesiarch.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't know high
A
priest.
pope.
And the ecclesiarch is the pope. There is no
The high pope.
high pope. I
Sorry,
mean,
the arch pope.
specifically, it.
Equimential pope, Chris, first
Yes.
amongst equals.
Yeah, no. It's typically the hierarchy of the ecclesiarchy is initiate, vicar, deacon, priest, high priest, bishop, archbishop, ecclesiarch. Priest and high priest are gendered, but the other two are not. The other ones are not. Those are non-gendered roles.
Question: is the just a general lore question? Is the ecclesiarch is there only a single ecclesiarch?
Well,
Is
there's
there,
only
like,
a single
council?
Okay, so there's an ecclesiarch for each church.
Okay, I got you.
So the Church of Tsukigami has an ecclesiarch. The Church of Enki has an ecclesiarch. The Church of Ezrin has an ecclesiarch, etc., etc. And where they're each headed is different, depending on the church. The Church of Enki is headed in Aral, but the Church of Tsukigami is headed in the City of the Dead in Colombia.
Alright.
And the Church of Ezrin is headed in Ezra. for our religious types, that's interesting. But only one of you is religious in the main game, and he doesn't even follow a real god. So
My archfey has more merit than he does.
That's slander.
I'm not sure the Farseer would appreciate that. But
That is slander. Severe action will
Look,
be
Sovereign
taken.
gives no fucks.
Severe
Sovereign's
action
just
will be
a
taken.
guy. Ugh.
Yeah, he's just a silly little guy. I mean, you saw the picture.
I mean, I don't know about little, but he's a silly guy.
I mean,
So,
it's subjective.
Chris, they're Fae. They call everything city little something.
yep. So, what are you all doing?
That's a good question.
What's y'all's path of action here?
Okay, I
I
assume
think
we all
it's pretty
gather.
obvious.
I assume we all gather around.
Alright, y'all are going to discuss. You're going to have a little round table to discuss your plan
Yeah,
of action.
We're gonna have
Gather around little campfire.
Campfire songs.
And we could go to like a tavern or
Tavern.
in somewhere, since we do get free board while we're here.
Ooh, airboard, actually.
Room and board.
Yay!
You could, instead of
We can
doing it in
discuss
the rainy street,
can
you could do it in a tavern, yes.
All right. Shall we get something to eat and discuss over dinner?
Oh
Or
yes,
lunch?
please.
Alright, so you guys go to the local tavern.
What's the name?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
This is literally
Tell
not
them fuck
important.
you.
No, it's important. I'd say it's important.
It's gonna be the
Alright.
question for the exam.
Yep, now it might end up as as a question.
The tiny goblin. I don't know.
No. Fuck you. You made me look it up.
He's gonna generate one right now.
Yep. Making me
Yep.
prep one. Making me randomly generate one that I
The
like to look at.
fantasy tavern generator.
It's exactly what I used.
I just guessed that.
The bald noble. I don't know.
No. Alright. The Tipsy Eclipse. That one I did not actually look up. I came up with
I actually like that.
That makes sense, cause eclipse.
Yeah. Eclipse.
It could also be the drunken moon.
This isn't the moon goddess's town.
Yeah, but calling the eclipse tipsy is kind of an insult, don't you think?
No.
You
Well,
can say that to the
boo-hoo.
tavern owner.
Boo-hoo liberal, get over it.
Yep.
Gami.
Liberal.
Kagami's above such things.
She,
You're saying Tsukigami's a liberal?
No, I'm saying Sukigami doesn't care. That
Oh.
this is called-
Tsukigami is literally too busy
Tsukigami
crying on
drinks
the moon.
beer.
She's
Yeah.
too busy crying on the moon.
too busy being sad.
She's a failure.
Bro,
The
she
OG
got,
girl failure.
she so got skill diffed in the creation game.
Girl failure.
Alright.
Don't at me until you've exiled yourself onto the moon.
Anyway.
Yeah, what's the fanciest meal I can order here?
Yeah, I'm also gonna get
A
a pretty
steak
nice
dinner.
meal.
Or
Yeah, I want to get the
Two silver.
fanciest fucking.
I just want fruit. I want all the fruit.
it's actually
Yes,
surprisingly
man.
expensive, but
Can we also
Yeah,
get Can we get a kids coloring page for Serenity too?
yeah.
Can I get a yellow bebber?
What?
A yellow bebber.
The fuck is
what
that?
is what is
What the
that?
fuck is that?
I'm also confused.
Don't worry. You know what? Just give me some ale, some nice ale.
Yeah. Those of you that want to drink, you are provided a mug of ale or a glass of wine or whatever.
I'll get some wine.
Your plate of food, Serenity is It's just full of melon.
Melon.
Yeah,
Just
and like
melon.
honeydew.
Melon.
Oh shit! I love honeydew.
Nice.
And there's some cantaloupe there as well. And one singular strawberry.
Damn.
So, what did you guys find?
Well, the neighbor who reported it said he saw the man head towards the Umbral District. A man fleeing towards the Umbral District, wearing a black cloak. Sorry, my accent's just getting like worse and worse.
It's okay.
Just get a thing of beer.
Yeah,
Yeah, go drink a beer.
Quirin will have a small cup of wine.
Not a glass,
a-
a cup.
Not a glass, just a cup.
Johann's getting a glass. Just the one up room.
Let me get a whole bottle.
I'm gonna get 2 bottles.
Honest, guys.
I'm gonna get 3 bottles.
Bro, the
Grimjaw's
Outgrave
getting
is
some
gonna
whiskey.
look- the Outgrave is gonna look at our tab and it's gonna be like, what the fuck?
It's okay. Just drink.
I don't actually order that wine. The bottles, anyways.
So, I don't
Serenity
think
decides
that
to
they were
speak
actually
up.
intended to be used for anything.
Serenity says, "I learned Quirin doesn't like circles. Maybe he is a square person."
What?
I love Serenity so much.
Disregarding whatever that means,
She's too precious.
I
He
don't think
destroyed the circle. Must not like circles.
Well, I don't like circles.
I will
run
not
by
defend
supposed necromancers, alright?
You destroyed evidence.
I destroyed a threat. I played it safe, alright?
Sure.
Plus, to be honest, I don't believe the circles were actually have any intended purpose, to be honest.
More like a distraction from the real thing.
Each of them apparently...
Distraction. It's one of my
co-
favorite words.
According to the mortician, each of the circles have been different. Some of them have been incomplete. Some of them weren't even perfect circles. I am assuming that this is a effort of deception of some kind. I had the other guards destroy. Or at least I told the guards to destroy the other circles just in case, if anything were to happen. So we're safe on that front. But it's very clear to me that this necromancer is trying to do everything to essentially hide who they truly are. The whole vampire to the bite on the neck is a deliberate red herring. I think they were done with syringes. One of them had a deeper depth, if you would say, into the neck than the other, which if
Quirin,
that was
I have a question, Quirin.
yes.
Why is it called a red herring?
I don't know.
Then why did you say it, Quirin?
It's like a it's a
I have
euphemism.
only seen blue herrings.
It's a
And one
figure
time
of
a
speech.
rainbow herring.
My, oh my.
Green would just kind of like shrug. Well, if actually, Chris, do red herrings exist? Like actual herrings?
I don't know.
Anything?
What an amazing question.
Why are you
Epic.
asking me? I
Do
don't
red
know.
herrings exist?
I'm gonna go with probably not.
Look, I think the idea is that red herrings don't actually exist. So things that point you in the wrong direction, you know, that don't actually exist, or trying to point you to a falsehood, is I think why it's called a red herring.
That's quite clever, Quirin. I think you'd make a great fae. I'll put in a good word for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mark, that is a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm going to hope it's a good thing and move on. To get back to the whole point, I don't think this person is an umbral.
No.
I agree.
Unfortunate.
Especially Quirin just stops and just looks at Abel.
What? Did I say something wrong?
Yes. But let's not get into that now.
Alright.
Necromancers will try and hide their identities, and if at all costs, it's the game of cat and mouse until the necromancer becomes the cat. So, running, you know, into the direction of where you live is not a very good idea. That paired with the whole vampire MO they're going with, which turned out, you know, they're not a vampire. I heavily suspect it's probably a human, if I had to guess.
Quirin, I have another question.
Yeah.
It's about
Do
the
we
cat
get to
and mouse.
pick if we are the cat or the mouse?
Oh my god.
We are the cat.
It's more like we switch between the cat and the mouse at times. That's generally how these things go.
Oh, like a polymorph spell.
More like if the cat's not careful, they'll become the mouse.
So here on Ether, your cats can become mice, and your mice can become cats.
Kieran, I think you're confusing the girl.
You know, let's try to be more direct instead of adding figures of speech.
She
Are
was
they
asking
familiars?
about figures
Would
of speech.
that makes more sense if they're
No.
familiars.
It's a figurative saying, not literal. I.e., cats are cats, mouses are mouse. They don't. It's like a. Imagine a drawing of a cat turning into a mouse rather than an actual cat turning into a mouse. If that helps you make.
Johann just
Make it
sits
better.
there and he's like, got his like hand, her like his forehead resting on his hand, just like rubbing his temples. And he's just
Well,
like,
yeah.
dear gods.
Yeah, Belle's gonna be like, he's just gonna open the wine and just start drinking from the bottle, not even like a cup.
Look, alright, I don't explain figurative speech that much in all of my years of life.
How old are you?
It's a rude question to ask someone.
No, not really, no.
At
A
least a few
rude
cent-
question would be, can I have your name? Yes, that is a
What?
rude question. May I have your name?
No.
No. No.
To answer your question, I'm at least a few centuries old. 2 or 3.
At least?
Oh, you're
Yes.
an
You
ancient.
forget the rest?
The rest of it kind of, age kind of becomes less of an important thing as a ascended.
Tell me,
You really
Quirin.
are old then.
Is your name
Yes.
Quirin? Am I
Older
pronouncing
man.
that right?
Quirin.
Quirin. How have you been able to, live for long?
You
And
are
not
not.
go, well, not go mad.
Hmm. Well, it's important. I know that there's a lot of famous historical cases about that, but that was more from veterans of the war. To be quite frank, for the past 300 years, relatively compared to the, previous times, it's a lot more peaceful.
But do you want to keep on living?
I'll live for as long as I have to.
Hmm.
The cycle will have to be maintained by someone.
I
Fair
respect
point.
that. I think I understand your reasoning because that's a goal that never truly ends, does it? you
No,
have
not.
you have a purpose, and that purpose never ends, and so you have to continue to live
Yes.
to fulfill this. I'm the same way.
Oh, really? How so?
Just like you, I'm centuries old. And I too have an unending purpose.
Do you like to keep that purpose to yourself, or?
I'm a Lord Keeper.
Yeah.
Knowledge is never something that ends, it always progresses.
It can regress, technically, but yes. I
That
get your
too.
point.
But it's always...
All the more reason your job is important.
It is perpetual.
Also, Abel, 300 years, generally speaking, is not the most destabilizing on the psyche in peaceful times, at least.
Well, to be honest,
that
I
your
wouldn't
age?
know that.
I'm not exactly 300. I'm something above that, but
300 and some change, perhaps.
yes. I mean,
Change? Where? Post
the
say it's changing.
There's no change. Just
the elves, they also live up to, some of them live up to 300 years as well.
well, I
Yours
won't be
truly
able-
has recently turned 713.
Oh, you don't look a day over 200.
You flatter me, young man.
Huh. That's not all right.
He's about to say that's gay.
What a strange joke by the uncle.
Not I don't even know how to respond.
Typically,
Well.
you say something mean. You could try that.
I guess you dumb pointed ear, knife eared.
No, you could do better than that.
How charming.
Don't worry, just him talking is already straining enough on the ears, so it's just fine.
Oh, quiet, Johann. Like you have anything better to say.
We
Anyways,
got really off track here, guys.
Yeah. It's like we devolved into like kind of a therapy session a little bit right there.
We had to establish some of the party dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that is important. We only have an hour
Now-
for obsession time, guys.
Also,
So-
I have not. Is Grimjaw silent by any chance?
Yeah,
I have not heard anything about Grimjaw.
I don't think he's
Avery.
spoken.
Avery.
Hello?
Are you
Yo,
here?
Avery, are you
Fell
there?
asleep.
No, I did not fall asleep.
Bro, where's
Fell
Grimjaw?
asleep- He
You know,
fell asleep
okay.
in his mug of ale.
I think my headcanon is we just couldn't see him, so we just never talked to him.
Oh,
Actually,
Grimjaw, I
Grimjaw's
forgot you were here.
He's got a big
Actually-
ass steel construct with him.
Grimjaw is actually just not even here.
Nah, he's just like asleep in his mug of ale. He's like, oh, it smells like home.
So we have two main things we can do. We can either A, investigate the other crime scenes. We won't see any bodies though. Or B, we can check the Umbral district. I don't lean one way in particular. Though if we do go to the Umbral district, we should inquire whether or not there's a human who resides
we-
amongst them.
Should we go during daytime?
Day or night.
Hmm.
Wouldn't they be asleep?
There'll be some who are awake. It's a city after all.
Maybe we should go at night.
Oh, hello, Grimjaw. I haven't seen you.
If we go at nighttime, we could probably talk to someone about this.
Could you elaborate the logic on that?
Well, I mean, there might be less people out at night. Might be advantageous to not get seen.
Oh. If the necromancer is concerned about outsiders, he would already know we're here.
You should
I suppose
also
that's a fair point.
remember, the Umbrals are a nighttime people.
Grimjaw doesn't get out much.
Not in your umbrellas, that's for sure.
I have to tinkle. I'll be right back.
The double meaning of that.
All in all, you gotta keep in mind that necromancers are very, very cautious people.
Indeed they are.
You seem to know a lot about them. Were you one?
No, I hunt their kind.
Oh, then you're perfect for this.
I did say I was a professional in this type of thing.
I thought you were professional in killing things.
I mean, that's not technically wrong.
Here, while she's talking, I'm just gonna summon the dog and be like, "You go play with the dog."
The doggy is back. Thank you, Mr. Mean Man. She just glumps the dog. Hug. Big ol' hug for the dog.
So, do you want to
Yeah, the-
investigate the crime scenes now and then go ahead to the Umbral District later tonight?
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Alright. So that's what we're doing?
Yes.
Alright. So,
I'll try to turn his 2-shot into a 3-shot.
Yes, sir.
do we want to do that?
I mean, Chris, I don't think you should rush things too much. But you know, if we can't fit everything, you know, happens.
So, 5 of you, mysteriously Johann disappears at some point, but the 5 of you go and start investigating the crime scenes. All of them follow a relatively similar template. No signs of forced entry. Some of them have been moved back into as well, so you can't like really gauge things because, you know, people live there. But, you know, especially some of the oldest crime scenes, but some of the newer ones you can garner. No signs of forced entry.
Actually, there's a good question. How am I able to ask around to find out how far apart the murders are?
I mean, roughly 3 to 6 days.
Okay. Got it. That is all. Sorry, continue.
Sorry. Alright. So, eventually the party reconsolidates after looking at the sites. Johann appears again. And the 5 of you go to visit the Umbral District to look around. Mysteriously, Abel is not there. Speaking of Abel, I'll get to what he's doing before I get to y'all. So Abel walks his sorry little ass, because he's a sorry little motherfucker, over to the church under a disguise, and is going to try to sneak in. Please roll stealth.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wonderful.
Actually, I don't even know if this works. Am I allowed to use greater invisibility?
Sure.
I will still use that.
You now have
Go ahead and
advantage on stealth. Okay. So you enter into the church and are sneaking around this empty structure until you find the mortician working over and doing an autopsy of the bodies from earlier, beyond his preliminary look, right? Seems to be looking at particular interest in the wounds that were mentioned, the very deep syringe marks when you enter.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of try to see what he's working on, kind of go up behind him and just really take in what he's writing in his autopsy notes and just keep a close eye on him.
Yeah. He seems to notate that the wounds amongst all the bodies that he's seen have been very similar. Incisions, likely made by somebody that is experienced working with with corpses, as a lot of the hearts were removed post-mortem. The blood has been removed from all the bodies thus far, and while initial suggestion might have put it as a vampire, there was always an investigatorial suspicion that was a faux pas, as most of the time vampires just take the blood. They have no reason for the hearts. He's noticed, now that he's looking closely, all 4 of the bodies have the deeper syringe mark. And he's making notes, pretty much, about these matters. This corpse has this condition. Rigor mortis has begun to set in, etc., etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Just in case, I just want to kind of lurk around there a little bit, just to keep an eye on the mortician.
Yeah, He just seems
Just
to be...
in case someone, like, I don't know, tries to come in or anything.
Yeah, so you're just sort of standing there for a while watching him work when this man walks in, another priest. Very distinctly pale individual, very tall.
Tall and pale, that was two of the things.
Very funny.
Oh, Zamun, how can I help you? Is the graveyard shift done? Yeah, I'm done. All of the tasks have been completed. It should be prepared for tomorrow's funeral for these unfortunate souls. That is good to hear. I should be done with them soon, and tomorrow the attendants will bring the corpses there for proper handling of the matter, as always. He just sort of nods. I will return to where I need to go. I will see you later.
I want to follow the pale man.
You gotta follow the pale man. Okay. You follow the pale man until he walks into his room and closes the door behind him. You would have to open the door to follow him.
Or I want to hide somewhere like around the church.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast my hound, but put greater invisibility on him, and my hound can actually walk through solid objects.
Okay. Go into a different part of the church, cast greater invisibility on the hound. He goes into the room and he is not there.
Oh. Hmm.
Also, greater visibility typically only lasts a minute.
All right, so yeah, I would just call the hound back. You know, not unsummon him.
Yeah. Make sure you've been marking down all these spell slots.
Yes.
And all the sorcery points. So, your mysterious pale man is missing.
I'm gonna, exit outside. Like, kind of see where his room was originally in the church.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of, like, pinpoint where it is and just see where he could have gone.
Well, assuming he hopped out of his window, you don't see any, as the rain has started to pick up, you don't see any footprints upon the ground to follow.
Okay. If I were to... Let me think about this. If I were to summon my hound again, could he potentially smell any trace of this priest?
Nothing. It's almost like he was never here at all.
Okay, I'm going to head back and try to regroup with them.
Okay. So, as the six of you enter the Umbral District, sorry, the five of you enter the Umbral District with no distinct goal, really.
Quirin has actually a distinct goal.
What is Quirin's distinct goal?
Quirin's distinct goal is to meet this apparently Umbro elf who's knowledgeable about necromancy.
Hmm.
Ooh, well, while you were going in doing your investigation, I did my I was a busy little beaver, shall we say.
You did your due diligence.
I sure did. Not
Became
only
a beaver.
uh in the sense of being a hard worker, yes.
Oh yes, they're quite hard workers.
Indeed. And I took on that spirit. And indeed, it has proved profitable for us. This
Oh, do tell.
Yidnak Kaibadus, he moved here from retirement. He was a necromancer within the ranks of the Nightingale. And I just happen to know where he is currently, or where he stays, rather.
Oh, really?
Yes,
would
I
you
shall
lead the
take
way?
you there. Most definitely. I will lead the way.
I would like to preface, I don't believe this is the person behind the murders.
I'm just going with what information I know. That is
Also-
how investigations work, yes?
Yes. Also, Chris, I just want to say, it was in the Zukagami church. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just saying. Had a feeling. It's a
I
good
also-
cover.
I
It-
also had a feeling.
It was not the mortician, though.
No, well, I wasn't expecting it to be the mortician. That's why I asked about the leader, and I was thinking about asking some more questions, but I need the last thing I want is this man to inform the rest of the church and this necromancer become more aware of our investigation.
So you proceed forward as the rain is picking up towards this Ignac's house and the slums. You notice that your group is sort of looked at with a sort of distaste. Besides Morgan, who is umbral, and very clearly umbral.
It doesn't help that Johann
Serenity,
also, like...
Serenity, waves.
Johann is just unintentionally, like, being flashy and showing off.
Quirin
Yeah.
kind of just looks unfazed.
And you all approach this one house. It appears to be a normal slum house.
I do one of those, like, game show, like, you know, but like how they motion for, like, the big door to open with the prize. I, like, do one of those, and I'm like, here we are.
Serenity claps. In, like, amusement, like,
Chris, does this door have a knocker or is it?
You think he can afford a knocker?
Hey man, knockers
No.
are cool. All right, I'm just saying.
He's broke. Knockers are for rich people.
Fair
It's
enough.
TV
fair
money
enough.
gets Nicky.
that's an
knockers.
Alaire moment. Alaire has a knocker. The
Hey,
Altgrave has a knocker. William.
Quirin will knock on the door.
You hear this shuffling. And then this man approaches the door. Taller man, pale, umbral. Can I help you?
Yes, you are Agnak Kaibarus, correct?
That is such a butchering of my name, but yes.
I apologies. We only got your name from a
An old man.
heavily. Actually, no, I actually don't know that. Actually, never mind.
Ignac.
That's what he's called.
Ignac Kaibadus. It is my
Ignac.
name. Ignac. How can I help you?
We work for the Altgrave, and we are
Yeah,
investigating.
he tries to close the door on you.
We don't think it is you.
I was gonna say, can I put my foot like between like the door and like the frame to try
I
and
mean, it
stop
hurts, but yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, I just let out like a little yelp as the door hits my foot.
I know you're not behind the murders.
I don't.
If you would hide. First off, you would do a lot more to hide your identity as an umbral. At least the murderer behind these crimes. I am asking for help.
How?
Quirin is gonna speak his next few words in umbral, actually. You are knowledgeable about necromancy, according to some rumors.
It is an offensive assertion, but not a necessarily incorrect one.
I've come to ask for some assistance to ask some questions.
What about?
Maybe come inside.
Fine, you may come in.
And
Your
Kareem will
entire
turn to the
group.
others. He's agreed to for questioning. Which Kareem will speak in common, and will speak common from here on.
Johann will just give a thumbs up.
Thank you for putting your foot in the door.
Yeah, it hurt very much.
And Kareem will head inside.
Alright. You head inside. All of you do. And then you close the door behind you. You all sit down at one of the tables. It's very destitute here compared to, what you all might be used to.
From my bag, I pull out one of the melons that I was offered in the tavern, and I just set it down on the table.
The necromancer behind these crimes have gone to great lengths to deceive those who would come after him. I'm sure you've heard about the vampire markings on the victims.
Yes. We had a similar
I-
string of instances around here.
Within the Umbral district against
Yes.
Umbrals. I had a feeling that their suspicion was mostly due to crimes being underreported.
They were brought
Whoever
up
this-
with the guard, but dismissed.
This necromancer is trying to scapegoat your kind.
You'd be wise to do so.
Yes. At each of the sites, there's been a circle of some kind. It looks like to be what would be a template for some type of magic circle. Although the constructions are quite poor, sometimes not even perfect circles. Honestly, it feels like a imitation at times.
Can everyone roll perception for me?
What about passive perception?
No. Well, actually, what is your passive?
19.
Okay.
Is Abel there yet or no?
Would a 15 passive perception?
What's everyone's passive?
10.
Alright, if it's not a 15 or above, Roll perception.
Let's go, 15.
Johann did not
Holy
hear it.
shit.
He's enamored by
Wow.
Morgan right now.
Yeah.
He's got to find some distraction from how awful this place looks.
It is so destitute and poor, and you hate poor people, clearly. Yeah, no, you are lost in the sauce of Morgan's form.
He's just so enchanting.
Yep.
Bro, Johann
So-
be like, damn, you live like this?
Damn, let me take care of you.
For those of you that did not roll because you have a 15 passive perception or higher, or don't care, there's this light squeaking noise you can hear upstairs, like that of a bat, perhaps.
Is it a bed?
And
So-
perhaps the slight flapping of wings can be heard. But perhaps it's just out the window.
May I inquire about the extent of your knowledge?
About necromancy?
Yes.
I
It
was
would
a
help me tailor my
practitioner.
questions.
I was experienced in the art. I used it for the purpose of defense, mostly.
So you don't violate the sanctity of life, is what I'm hearing.
Well, in a way, all necromancy is a violation of the sanctity of life, is it not, under the definition of Tsukigami? I merely utilized it for a purpose.
Some violations are tolerated more than others.
I was a member of the Nightingale first and foremost.
Of course. There are all sorts of people who use necromancy, though the lesser degree of, say, false life and other such things.
Yes. The art of necromancy as a whole is not detestable. There are merely aspects of it that can be bleak in its usage. I have, in the past, raised corpses, which is a violation of the sanctity of life, though it was done under my orders, at the behest of Lady Nyx.
Was it the questioning of the dead? Or...
I've done that before, but it was also for use for defense of the sanctum against the Dark One. Nightingale warriors who have fallen in battle are authorized by our holy tenets to be raised, for they continue their service, before they return to the embrace of Lady Nyx.
Well, I personally do not like the idea of such a thing. It is sometimes deemed necessary. I understand. To get to the matter at hand, there's a bunch of circles drawn at each of the crime scenes, poorly made. Some of them not complete circles, some of them incomplete. They're about this big. They don't have any runic on them, most notably. Is there anything you can tell me about the purpose of these circles?
I have not seen the ones you are referring to. They are not a typical necromantic circle. Perhaps it is a calling card of sorts. Part of
I
their
see.
modus operandi, it is hard to say. Necromantic circles, if drawn, need to be done in blood for ritualistic purposes.
These ones were engraved.
which suggests that they were either not necromantic circles or something else.
A red herring.
A red herring, perhaps.
Yes. This necromancer
Serenity
enjoys red
turns to
herrings.
Quirin and like raises her finger, like she's about to talk about the red herrings again.
Quirin's gonna ignore that.
Serenity just kind of looks down. It's a little sad.
Riley,
This will be
kick
your
the
bit.
DMs.
I don't worry. I'll get to that in just a moment. I just want one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you at all familiar with those in the Zukigami Church?
No.
Have there been any rumors about new members, any leadership changes?
Not as far as I
Anything
know.
like-
You were asking the wrong person. I am not a member, nor will I ever be a member.
I'll be right back. The others, will probably have questions for you. And, Quirin will get up and walk to the front door and close the door behind him.
And once he sees Quirin move, Quirin move, Johann like snaps out of his little trance. He's like, huh, "What? Are we done?" And then he'll just get up and leave as well.
You know, Alright, never mind. Notably, you would not see Quirin, when you leave the house.
Yeah, he just like kind of looks around for a minute to see where he could have gone, but then just shrugs and kind of just stands there and waits for everybody else.
Is that right? Quirin, Abel, what are y'all gonna talk about? 'Cause I'm tracking on this.
Quirin, I
Yeah.
need you to follow me somewhere quiet. I've potentially have a lead.
Is it with the church?
Yes.
Quite common. The Church of Zukigami has access to bodies of the dead. Quite often they masquerade as a member of the church.
I saw him.
Oh.
I saw the white. Actually, out of character, what languages does Quirin speak?
So he speaks Common, Prime, Umbral, and Celestial, and Dark Common.
Okay. I speak Celestial. So
Okay.
I'm going to speak to Quirin in Celestial. Yes, I'm afraid I found the pale elf. The large, tall figure of a pale elf, posing as a priest.
An elf.
He's not an elf, he's a human, but
No, sorry. I don't know why I said elf. Sorry, ignore the elf part. Don't worry about that. But yes, I saw him in the church. He was talking to the mortician about burying the bodies soon. I tried to follow him. Well, at least my hound tried to follow him through his room. But as soon as my hound passed through the door, there was nothing. He disappeared.
Are there any windows to the room?
Yes, there was one window. I tried looking outside to see if I could catch him in time, but it started raining.
How
And my
high up
hound.
is the window?
How high up was the window, Chris?
jumpable.
It was about, I say, 10 feet, maybe somewhere around there. You could jump from it.
We can probably conclude it was the church, that whoever this is in the church.
Absolutely.
We need to try to keep The last thing we want to do is alert him that we're on to him.
Yes. Try to. I'm not gonna say it to the others, but try to keep it between both of us for now.
Why?
First of all, I'm not sure if people can keep their mouth open. I'm afraid of that.
I think the only one who can worry about that is Serenity.
Can't keep their mouth open.
Sorry, keep their mouth shut.
There's screaming in the distance.
Quirin's gonna run.
Abel's gonna run.
Oh, do even I hear it?
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna start running then too.
So, all of you run, and you see the guard fighting actively with some zombies. They cut them down by the time you make it there, but they find this book on the ground. This spell book.
Bitch.
With all the text written in Umbral.
I'm not touching it.
The guard
Quirin
picks
will
it
touch
up. It's a damn necromancer. Bring him in.
May I see him? May I see the book?
Yeah?
We
Hands you
work
the
with
book.
the Old Grave.
Hands you the book.
Yeah.
The guards start
gonna-
to work.
I'm gonna, just read the first few pages. I just want to make sure it's not nonsense.
This is Ignac's spellbook.
But we were with him.
I'll need this for the
Well-
investigation. I'll be back.
The fluttering of like, what was it? You said like rubber sounding?
Sounds like wings.
Wings squeaking.
The flapping of wings and squeaking.
So maybe it was just stolen.
Stolen
While we were
from
there.
him while you were talking to him.
Possibly. We have some more questions to ask him then.
Yes.
Chris, I have a
Oh,
question.
the,
How do we know it's Agnak, by the way?
It's his name's written in it.
Okay. In Umbral?
Yep.
Okay, so the guard probably can't read it.
Oh, the guard's already hauling off the necromancer. It seems that the local guard probably knew who he was. They just needed proof. And this is all the proof they needed.
Excuse me. What is going on here?
Arresting a criminal. Seems sensible to me.
But we were speaking to him when this happened.
Well,
We're
How could
just
be in two
talking to
places
him.
at once?
maybe he did it in advance. Damn Umbral witchcraft.
No, I believe it is called necromancy. Not witchcraft.
Shut up, knife ears. I don't want to hear it from you. Now, we're gonna
You
do
sound
our
just
jobs.
like Abel.
I'm gonna do my job, which is to arrest him. And he arrests him and starts walking away with Ignac, who is trying to fight back, but there's several guards on him.
Quick, Riley, do something.
Oh, Riley died.
Oh,
Leaves.
that's something, I guess.
Oh,
Oh, where's everyone going?
I don't know. I don't know where they're going. We might need to turn this into a 3-shot, guys. Hey, Riley.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
I got like kicked
Likely.
out.
When did I cut out?
Yeah, I cut out.
You sort of cut out as you were like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Oh. Okay, yeah, my apparently my internet went down.
Yeah, my internet went down too.
Must be a
We'd like to
Washington,
question the man in
D.C.
private before you take him into custody.
They sort of look at each other and then look at you, and then keep
We
walking.
work for the Altgrave for this job.
They look at each other, look at you, look at the guy.
You can have him afterwards.
You have a umbral with you, don't you?
We are hired outsiders. And if you want to challenge the authority of the Altgrave, be my guest.
If we're in a working for the Altgrave contest, I think we beat you. However, I can let you have your little meeting, just not in private.
I'll make
I want to try to persuade him or intimidate him to give us a meeting in private.
How are you going to intimidate him? What are
Just
you
go
saying
up
to
to
him?
him and be just. I'm gonna go up to him and say, just kind of look at him and be like, "Listen, we need this meeting in private, or more of these people will die."
It is fine. We'll make do. I know how we can make this work. Shall we at least do the questioning inside his house so passerbyers don't get all the details?
Fine. This could have waited till we had brought him to the dungeons, but you have to do it now.
Yes,
Drags him up.
Cases.
As far as I'm concerned, I've got the murderer red-handed, but you say so. He drags him back up the stairs, back into his house.
Yep, Quirin's gonna head inside.
Yep, and Bill is also gonna head inside.
I think we still have some people inside the house, actually.
True, we might.
Was Serenity and Grimjaw inside? And Weyland?
They just never left.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
Yeah, we're inside.
Just for future reference, Chris, all these questions are going to be in number, by the way.
Okay.
Need I ask whether your spellbook was stolen?
As far as I know, it was. I certainly didn't put it there.
When did you last have it in your possession?
Today.
How long ago?
I usually look at it in the mornings. And in the evenings when I return.
Do you keep any pets here?
No.
You kind of began to see Quirin kind of like break into like a cold sweat. And Quirin's gonna go up to him and whisper into his ear. We will prove your innocence eventually, just give us time. We have a suspect.
All right. So, are you done with
Or
your
make me-
inquisition of this man?
Yes, but I have a question. How soon do you plan on executing him for his crimes?
That is up to the Altgrave to decide, not me. I imagine it shan't be more than a week's time, for his punishment ought to be swift in the name of justice.
Can you inform the Altgrave not to be too rough with the man until we've confirmed something?
I'll be sure to pass on your wishes.
If the murders continue while he's in prison, would you consider the man innocent or guilty? Still?
We shall see. Starts drying
That
him
is all.
off. Yep. And this rainy evening, yeah, I guess we can make the 2-shot a 3-shot.
Yippee.
Abel, we need to find some place where we can have private of any prying eyes, whether through a familiar or anything.
I can use message to speak with you if that's more.
No, I need to speak with everyone.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I'm going to leave off session.
Yeah.
All right. All of you, that is where we conclude session 2 of the I Guess Now 3-shot.
Yay.
Bro, I just want to say,
What?
realizing, you know, he doesn't have a pet vat, and realizing that he is here, and you know, just so happened to frame the person we were talking to in the middle of talking with him. Yeah, this necromancer is watching us.
He most certainly is.
Which is why Quirin kind of broke into a sweat.
Yep. Well,
if you were wondering.
I'm glad you all had fun.
I just thought he was a sweaty guy.
That is where we'll
No,
end.
he realized they were being
He
watched.
probably sweats a lot.
He realized we were being watched.
Alright,
No,
I am.
So he sweats a lot.
I had lots of fun, but I'm gonna go to bed.
Alright.
I also had fun.
All right.
I'll see y'all.
Good night to you all.
So